Good evening, and thank you for joining me on my special occasion speech. Tonight, I have the honor and the slight moral dilemma of celebrating and lightly picking on a guy who has been an unmistakable part of my life since junior high. His name is Gavin Glass. It's him in the middle. If you've never met Gavin, which many of you who view this will have not, you can kind of picture the biggest, goofiest person that you have in your life. Someone you hold dear, a loyal, friendly, lovable person, but someone you wouldn't trust with anything fragile or higher level problem solving. Um, in many ways, I feel like we all have a Gavin in our life to some extent. This person is important to us for many reasons, but I find that it's often specifically because of the balance they bring into our social groups. And maybe you are the Gavin of your friend group. But here's the thing about Gavin and whoever you may see as Gavin in your life. They usually tend to be someone everyone instantly likes. He's been a core part of my friend group for over half of my life at this point, and Gavin manages to show us an essential aspect of the fun that we have, but also he gives us plenty of reasons to question why we befriended him in the first place. He's not the brightest bulb in the chandelier, and sometimes I wonder if his brain grew backwards in his head, but what he lacks in intelligence, he makes up for at heart. He's a loyal friend. He's great with anything hands-on or technical. He's currently working hard to become an HVAC worker so that he can support himself and his family a little bit more, and it's perfect because honestly, I don't believe anybody could appreciate heating, cooling, and ventilation like someone whose brain needs all three to run at once. Gavin has many talents, despite some of the shade I throw at him. Um, he can fix just about anything with his hands. He's trained in welding, mechanical work, and now HVAC. He's super dependable when it matters. If you're ever lost in the woods with him, you'll never actually be lost because his sense of direction is almost otherworldly. But he has the social range of a roulette wheel. I mean, you never know in any interaction whether you're just going to be crying, laughing, or reeling in embarrassment. It's balance, right? And I'll give an example of a classic moment with Gavin, one of our favorite stories to tell. After graduation, a couple friends of ours, it was just the three of us in that group, we took a week-long trip to Colorado. We were super excited to go, and we decided we were going to go on a big 6-mile hike. All we had to look forward to was snow, mud, and rocks, but the views were incredible. And when we reached the peak, we realized that our return path was entirely snowed off. It didn't sit well with Gavin. We ended up deciding we were going to come back down the way we came, which was going to increase the length of our hike about 2 more miles from what it should have been. And on the way down, I mean, we were tired. We had probably about an hour and a half left, but about an hour and a half away from the end of the trail, Gavin just absolutely slips and busts his butt. I mean, he fell, and dear Lord was he grumpy about it. He was not cool for the rest of that hike, and probably for the rest of the day, if I had to remember. We had to get him some ibuprofen and let him cool out once we got to the cabin, but at the end of it all, he laughed about it. And that's the thing about Gavin, right? Is that, he can laugh later, and he always brings that goofy side of him back with him. Another thing I like to talk about when it comes to Gavin is his cat. He has this cat named Thibodeau that he's had as long as I've known him. And dear Lord, do those two fight. I mean, they love to fight. If the ASPCA saw them interact with each other, both of them would get sent to counseling, right? And I have always said that if anybody were to turn into a crazy cat lady, it would be Gavin. I mean, he's just that type of guy. But it's just another interesting character trait about him, right? I mean, this big, goofable, loving guy and his small pet cat that he just always seems to be scrapping with. Jokes aside, Gavin is a great friend. I mean, he's a giant goofball, and he's someone who deserves some recognition, not just for what he does, but for who he is. He's loyal, he's hardworking, and he brings a chaotic joy to all the people that surround him. So, here's to Gavin, a man and a friend of many talents, many questionable decisions, and many of the stories that we'll keep probably joking about him for until we're all old and gray, right? But thanks for listening.